Guys, this time we're going to show you investigated file from all the character. I'm not done all of the character yet, but I'll show you their result. I mean, the result in the internet if I'm not able to finish all. But yeah, mostly it's finished. So we'll start from Al-Hazard. Background 1, case report. Al-Hazard is a traveling book peddler. No, that's not right. He's a collector of rare tomes. He doesn't collect the tomes to sell them, he said, so the term peddler apparently offend him. Background 2, case report. He must be a very rich man. If he comes across a rare enough tome, he'll shell out enough cash to build a castle. Must be nice having that kind of cash to throw around, eh? Background 3. The other day I saw him. It was the middle of the night and he was holding a hide-bound tome as if he were in love. And that was no ordinary hide. X is Axe. Background 1. Axe is a baby dragon horse still training in Gordius. When Nick officially becomes a dragon cavalry soldier, he and Axe will be partners. They pretty much already are. It's full of curiosity and can be reckless at times, but curiosity is a sign of intelligence, so the dragon cavalry consider it something of a virtue. Background 3. It's hard to see since he's still just a baby, but he's got 3 horns. 3 horns dragon horses are very rare, so they expect him to be something special one day. It's background 1. I bet an inventor from Astris. Without exaggeration, the man has devoted every fiber of his being to gears and nothing but. His masterpiece is the revolving bridge, but all of Astris windmills are his too. He wanted to build the windmills with their gears exposed, but the sea winds would have worn them down, so he reluctantly put them on the inside. He's a technical genius, but he's got no concept of how to take care of himself. He left all the housework to Sorensen without so much as a thank you. Sorensen has got to be the most passionate man. Fasten, background 1. Fasten was a hot village art appraiser. He always had a very hard time of it, trying to force his own artistic taste into matching up with load bearers. But now, thanks to you, he knows he doesn't have to do that anymore. He'd say he less interest in painting and sculpture than he is in pottery and dishes. They're both useful in everyday life and artistically valuable. He got a family living somewhere else, and he sent them money regularly. That's why he couldn't tear himself away from Hall Village. He had to support them. Valkut, background 1. Valkut used to be a gladiator, but he escaped 10 years ago. After training himself abroad, he came back to participate in the Sacred Games. He made it all the way to the final match, but you know how that went. Believe it or not, as cute as he is now, he was a pretty lousy gladiator back in the day. That's why no one knew who he was when he appeared in the Sacred Games. Seems he get along with Din because they both use those giant swords. I've seen them practice together and they're not half bad. Bergen, background 1. Bergen's a dwarf boy who calls himself Laffy Apprentice. His work seems to consist of digging up rune orbs for Laffy to use in his research. He's not so much interested in becoming a wizard himself, he just wants to watch Laffy do his magic. Laffy seems to know that and tends to take advantage of the boy, but if Bergen doesn't mind, I guess it's alright. I don't know about humans, but dwarves consider me a pretty good looking guy, he insists. Bernadette, background 1. Bernadette's the daughter of Admiral Scald Egan, the one in charge of the Island Nation Federation fleet. She's also the vice captain of the flagship the Lino and Kuldus. She looks more like Admiral Egan's grandchild than his daughter, being the youngest of 8 siblings and all. Her siblings are soldier, explorer, and shipping agent. Some she keeps in touch with, others not so much. George once said he was in a position similar to Xylids. What do you suppose he meant by that? It seems this ferret is his brother. It seems. I don't know. Boss, background 1. He has a report. The boss is the Lord of Astris and a former Barrows faction noble. But he wants us to forget about that, he said. He has a wife and 2 sons in Astris. He's a devoted husband and his wife a fine lady, so they rarely fight, except one time. Apparently she asked him to change that hairstyle of his and they almost had a divorce. Well, he's pretty much on the up and up, so I couldn't dig up much dirt, except for one thing. The reason he preferred land battle to sea battles, even though he's the lord of a port town, is that he can't swim. Byakuren. Background 1. Byakuren is a giant white serpent from Sarah's Lake. At first he thought we were intruders and wanted to chase us out. Now she thinks of us as her friend. He can't understand our speech, but it seems he's as smart as we are. Regardless, he often talks with Geno. He seems confident in her look, but he sees Flail and Miron as rivals. I guess I sort of understand about Flail, but why Miron? I wonder. Katori, background 1. Katori is a mysterious woman supposedly from the northern continent. So far, here's what we know. She's met Lucretia, and she carries a rare weapon called a gun. She owns a rare rune called the Godspeed rune, which make her insanely fast. Between that and the gun, she's a killer, because you never see her till she shoots you dead. Some people call her the Invisible Howl. Only a certain organization in the Holy Kingdom of Harmonia know how to manufacture her weapon. Renegade tried to steal their technology but failed. In retrospect, that's a very good thing. Chisato, background 1. Chisato, a young lady who used to do puppetry on Nerva Island. She's amazing with voices. She can produce any voice you want at any time. Her voice might be magical or something, but they aren't. No magic, no gimmick, just talent and practice. It's incredible what people are capable of. Sato doesn't know it, but she's a legend in the world of theater. The woman of 1,000 voices. Most people think she's a myth. If they knew better, I bet every theater group in the world would be clamoring for her. Chuck, background 1. Chuck is the young man who got at the Barrows family storage. Now he got our storage here. He lost his family during the Army's invasion 8 years ago. He drifted around and wound up stumbling into Lord Barrow's mansion. As the god drove him out, Lucerina stood up for him and he ended up staying with them. He used to tend the Barrow's garden. He loved flowers and trees. I wonder how those gardens are doing now. Cheers, background 1. Cheers used to be a god at a goddamn prison, but when they imprison Lucretia, he becomes a concern for her that he helps set her free. Background 2. He comes from a long line of Dorad military men. He's a real straight arrow. And he normally rather die before defecting to the enemy. And Lucretia a weak woman for bringing him around to the other extreme. Background 3. He's a little too fussy about following rules, so the people of Roughly in particular keep him at arm's length. Still, I guess an army needs guys like him. Cornelia, background 1. Cornelia is an eccentric, creative musician who wants to gather up Doremi off and start an orchestra. He's got that Doremi rune, so gathering more Doremi offs makes his magic more powerful. Their fields are different, but he gets along with Josephine. Makes sense, they're both high class and all that when two of them are together. I don't dare go near them because I'm a mediocrity, you see. Freyk, background 1. Freyk is the commander of the Dragon Cavalry. He's a great leader. Even while he's fighting on the front line, he sets a big picture and gives the right orders. All his men trust him with their life. He and Miyaki's father are best friends, just like Rahal and Rook. He likes fishing, but he asked me not to tell Subala because she's challenging him to competition. He said he feels to relax, not to compare his catch with someone else. Ian, background 1. Dean's head of the garrison in Sable. He's a reliable leader, his men and his Lord Robble agree on that. He looks like a man with very few faults. Ian used to be all alone in the world. The last Lord Robble took him in with the intention of making him a gladiator. Solis must help talk his father out of that. He's courting Solis' Robble daughter, Salisa, with her parents' approval. He's so devoted to her, I almost wonder who his real master is. Dongo, background 1. Dongo is a calf dwarf blacksmith, his master a tyrant, always yelling and calling him a hack or a dimwit, but he actually a damn good smith. Love forging weapons. He said that a fine blade is the true mark of a blacksmith talent. You know those metal fittings that secure the rails of Wabun's mining cart? Dongo's the one who made those. They say he helped with the mining carts themselves too. Wabun got no business giving that guy a hard time. Egbert, background 1. Egbert is the descendant of the Itebold family who fell into ruin after being politically crushed by the Godwin about a century ago. So he claimed. I think he's not the most coherent fellow around. After about 100 years ago, all record of the Itebold family suddenly stopped, and nobody knows what happened to their descendant after that. So Egbert either a crazy old man or he's crazy honest old man. Whenever Egbert sees Mr. Mouse, he licks his lip. I guess now we know how he managed to survive in that underground passage all this time. Ugh. Paris, background 1. Well, you found her somewhere and broke her back with you. Beyond that, give me some time on this one. Those clothes she's wearing are reserved for high-level clergy, but you have to be at least 40 to attain a position that high, no matter how fast you climb. Do they even make those clothes in her size? That girl is one big mystery. Refresh my memory, he said the two of you went into some ruin that place. I checked the place out, but I didn't see any entrance. Background 1. A small leopard that accompanies an animal tamer and gives a astonishingly eye-opening performance that earns outward persona. Turns out he's some unlucky kid, a pretty boy apparently cursed because of some rune. If he really tries, he can turn back into a human temporarily. During that time, he can harness the rune's power, and those are some powers, let me tell you. Also, for some reason, his curse take a break on full moon night. This has a real sweet tooth, but no matter what he eats when he's a leopard, it doesn't taste sweet. So when there's a full moon, he tries to eat enough sweet to keep himself going for the next whole month. Urim, background 1. Urim is Lord Barrow's son and heir. He's a fool, but the tenacity is full, which makes him very hard to deal with. Although to be fair, he seems to have turned himself around now. Bet you didn't know this. Urim and Lucerina used to have an older sister, but she died of illness. They had an older brother too. He got himself assassinated, and their mother became too afraid to set foot outside. Maybe when his mother became phobic, he started acting like a fool who always needs his mommy, you know, for her sake. Maybe after he'd been doing it long enough, he started thinking that was who he really was. That's my guess. Phelan, background 1. Phelan is Phelan's younger sister, one of Roy's bandits, or at least he used to be. Originally, Roy wasn't supposed to be the only one in disguise. Phelan was supposed to dress up like Leon too. But once he showed Roy her costume, he laughed so hard she got mad and refused to wear it. Leon asked me once, I don't think Phelan likes me. Do you know why? Ah, kids. Phelan, background 1. Phelan is Phelan's older brother. He used to be once of Roy's bandit. He's a year older than Roy, but he acts like Roy's above him. Actually, it seems like everyone's above him, even his own little sister, and he doesn't seem to mind. Roy was pretending to be you. Phelan tried pretending to be George, but when he tried the costume, it was so small it got all ripped out, and that was the end of the plan. Well, background 1. Freyjadour is Rahal's dragon horse. She's powerful and has great reflexes, and gets along very well with Rahal. As dragon horses go, she's very pretty. The male fight over her all the time. Eventually, the male will sort out who gets to be her mate. But what with the state of emergency and all, they put it aside for now. She has a beautiful voice. Her cries sound like a song. When Rania heard her lowing, it moved her to tears. Too bad Rania is the only one who can hear that sort of thing. Fuala Fualu, background 1. Fuala Fualu is the elder of the Weaver. If he rolls himself up, he looks like a big furry ball. Oh, that last part what Thomas said. Average life expectancy of a beaver is about 30 years, but Fuala Fualu is already beyond that. They say his father lived over 50 years. I guess longevity runs in his family. Not to think of it though, he's younger than I am, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Fuyo, background 1. Fuyo is a wonder. She single-handedly keeps the Oboro detective agency office running. She comes from a merchant family, so accounting and clerical work are right up her alley. Without her, we would never survive. When Sagiri, Sigure, and I first opened the agency, Fuyo was our very first client. I guess he couldn't stand how inefficient we were, so after her investigation was over, she came back to help us. She's been with us ever since. I thought Fuyo might run for the hills when she found out about our past, but instead she stuck around since she wants to work with us as a family. For Sagiri and Sigure's sake, like I said, she's a wonder. Galleon, background 1. He's the oldest active Queen's Knight. Back in the armor's inversion, he fought right on the front, brave as all hell. He's from Lord Lake, and ever since the uprising there 2 years ago, he seemed worried about something. He used to be married, but got divorced 20 years ago. Actually, his ex-wife is in this castle right now, but it's probably not my place to say who she is. Well, it's probably obvious by now, so I might as well just say it. His ex-wife is Sofa. They met on the battlefield when she was an army doctor, and before long they got married. What happens after that is private though. Gavaya, background 1. Gavaya is a fighter from Armus, but he apparently doesn't care at all about his homeland anymore. He travels from country to country now, looking for somebody to marry. Look aside, Gavaya is a gentleman. He'd never dream of hurting a woman in any way, not even in a tournament. If he winds up facing a female competitor, he just withdraw. Looks like he knows Hajuki and Nikia from Paris tournament circuits. I overheard he and Nikia mourning the other day about not getting into the second games. Yeno, background 1. Yeno is a giant tortoise that live in a waterfall basin upstream from Beaver Lodge. Surprisingly enough, he's just about as smart as human, maybe even smarter. The beaver call him Boss. He claims he's over 1,000 years old, but that's a little far-fetched. Whenever I ask him about the past, he just say he can't quite remember. But hey, if it's true, it's amazing. Accurant's been around a while herself, a little over 100 years. So the two of them get along. It seems I get the impression that Geno wants to be friends more than she does, though. George, background 1. George has always been a great warrior. That's why Falena and Ferret met him a Queen's Knight so quickly. He's been in a difficult position since the day the Sun Palace was attacked, but I guess you all know about that. Before coming to Falena, he was in the Scarlet Moon Empire on the Northern Continent. Believe it or not, he was one of the 6 great generals. They called him Deadblow George, but apparently, Ferret knew him before all that. I don't know about the left eye of his. Usually when a man's blind in one eye, he moves or acts like he has a blind spot. Not Joe though. OS, background 1. Joe is a young farmer from Lord Lake. He's a real leader among the youth. Loves Lord Lake more than anyone, but he's sensible enough not to let those feelings get the better of him. Word is, he even stayed out of the uprising 2 years ago. It's the uprising. Lord Lake's youth keep wanting to storm-headed fortress, but Goi's always talked them out of it. He didn't want to lose more friend and feed, he said. Gunde, background 1. Gunde is your typical cave dwarf in just about every way. He's a good friend with luck, apparently. Even by dwarf standards, he's one of the best diggers around. He digs fast, accurately, and as quietly as possible. Years ago, Godwin soldiers stuck Gunde's father with a bogus charge and threw him in jail. But Locke helped Gunde's father escape. After that, Gunde started helping Locke with his work. Halot, background 1. Halot's an ex-bureaucrat from the Harsfield Naval Base. Now what you call a bad guy. Not what you call a bad guy, but shady as hell. He loves to gamble and Belsman right up his alley. Not to mention all those forged documents. You know about Locke's fugitive smuggling's run? Halot used to help with those by forging passports and IDs. No doubt the experience came in handy when he went on the footage all those cargo received. He organized betting on dragon horse races, apparently without the cavalry permission. But pretty much all the cavalry soldiers like gambling, so Commander Layden just looked the other way. Oswer, background 1. Oswer is the Oracle of Lunas. She's the daughter of Lady Saharewar, the late Queen's older sister, so what makes her Queen Arstat and Lady Silent cousin? He has a tendency to give big hugs to anyone she thinks is cute. Toma, Marun, Fuyo. Even although Fuyo doesn't complain about it all that much. Okay. She's the only woman left now in Falena royal family are the princess and Lady Hosmer herself. She worries about the family dying out. Azuki, background 1. Azuki is a beautiful young sword woman. She followed Balkut here. It's odd, as clueless as Balkut is about women, he sure can reel them in, can't he? She actually comes from a family of government sword instructor. She took a journey to hone her skill and lost to Balkut in Kanakan. She swore not to go home again until she get even. Over the course of her travels, she met Nikea and Gavaya. When she first met Gavaya, he was so persistent in his marriage proposal that she actually drew her sword on him. Isabel, background 1. Isabel called herself the heir to the Maximilian Knight's aspiration, and she's got the skill and conviction to back that up. She's a very strong woman, good looking too. The Maximilian Knight used to operate in the Scarlet Moon Empire on the Northern Continent, but because they act on their own conviction without the Emperor's permission, they were dissolved. When Isabel, Zaraze, and Katari are together, no man can approach them. All three are pretty overbearing, but they're all capable as their attitude implies, so better keep your distance. Sato, background 1. He's both the chief cleric in Lunas and the Oracle House's right-hand man. Also, believe it or not, he's an elf. Elf age much more slowly than humans, so he must be a lot older than he looks. He's probably been a cleric longer than most of his peers has been alive. He's from a hidden elf village called Alseed. Supposedly it's up in the northwoods of Lunas, but no humans ever set foot there in the history of time. Jean, background 1. Oh, Jean's a rune mistress. She came to Leckler from Soul Falena. Beautiful, isn't she? And she's damn good at her job. You want to know about Jean? You know, there are some doors you're really better off not opening. So you really want to know, eh? Alright, fine. Jean is a very nice young lady with absolutely no mind-boggling secret to hide. None whatsoever. Moving on. Josephine, background 1. Josephine is a young lady who searched throughout Howard Village for culture. Culture in Howard Village. I'm not just going to say anything. He apparently makes all of those old clothes and parasol herself. Good for her. What a shock, eh? I heard the rumor about the Falia family daughter running away, but who would have thought it would turn out to be Josephine? By the way, it's not a moot point now, but good thing Lord Barons never found out. Killy, background 1. We don't know much about Killy, not even why he was locked up in a Gate prison. He seemed to be researching the Cinder civilization, but I'm still trying to find out why. When Lord Godwin held a gathering of Cinder civilization experts, Kelly show up. It's not to help out or anything. He just couldn't resist the chance to snag their much in their information all at once. I don't think there's any doubt he's from his country. I asked him which city, but he wouldn't tell me. He only said you wouldn't know it even if I told you. Heh, I doubt that.